They slept with a rapper, a power forward, or an outfielder, and they think they dated him. And they tell their friends they dated him, but the dude's married with kids, and there's no image of the two of them together. But she tells her friend she dated so-and-so. Do you see the dilemma, though, like as a society, right? We have 68% of college graduates are female. 60% of college attendees are female. 95% of psychologists under the age of 30 are female. There are more female military pilots than there are male kindergarten teachers. There's certain industries that have just been completely, where women have left the home, not really interested in being a mother or a wife or something like that. And that's their own decision. Right. But if you do that to a point where like now you are working at Goldman Sachs and making $300K a year, what does a man, like think about the man who has to compete with that to be able to provide.
Step up their game.
Yeah, but okay, so
step it up.
So here's where the numbers come in, though.
Okay.
The percentage of men making over $100,000 a year. What do you think it is?
Oof. Men making over $100,000
a year. Because you and a bunch of girls are making $100K a month on OF. $100K a year.
Question. I'm gonna go with like 30%.
No, it's about, I think it puts you in the top 17% or something
really?
like that. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then if you to put you in the top 1%, you have to make $550,000. Well, the 1%.
Wow.
So, but we have similar friends. You're used to being around billionaires, and like those guys, their residual income is $4 million a month.
They're in the 1%.
Well, they're in the 1/1,000,000th of 1% because they live in Bel Air. Like but we get jaded to this concept. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so then it's like you're saying men have to step up. Well, there's some socioeconomic truths. Not everyone can make $100,000 a year.
Right.
What do you think the average guy in the United States makes?
Maybe like 60.
39.
Is that about average?
Makes 39. But do you see the problem, right?
Yes.
So now we have a woman who's gone off. She's got her associates. Now she's a paralegal. Now she goes to law school.
It's getting tougher for men, you know?
Okay,
women are becoming more independent, you know, women are becoming their own man at this point. You know,
it's got to the point where like I have to be 6'3" and make $500,000 a year to be above the woman who wants me to lead her. And the 1% of the male population is 6'3". Like, do you see what I'm saying? 1% of the male population.
It's like finding a unicorn.
Makes 500,000. Okay, now here's the thing. Now you meet that guy. Guess what he has? Options. Like ridiculous numbers of options. Yep. So for men, like I was going through these graphs about like how many sexual partners a dude has in his life. 26% of men under the age of 30 are virgins. 26%.
Under the age of 30?
Are virgins.
Wow, that's very high, I think.
33% have had no sexual partners in the last year, okay? Under the age of 30. So let's just say from 0 to like take the first quartile, we're at 0. Mm-hmm. And then the average number of sexual partners a man has is 5 or 6. Some people say 5, some people say 6. So we're at the 50th percentile, we're at 5 or 6. And then once we get into the top 5%, we're at 150. So it looks like this for men. Body count goes like this, and then it goes like, you understand?
Skyrocket. Yeah.
It's skyrocket. So why is that? Because here are the men who are 6'3", working at, exactly.
Those are the unicorns.
Correct. They are not unicorns in that if you want fecundity, meaning like you want monogamy, they're not going to give it to you because they have so many options. Do you understand?
Yeah, I mean, that would explain why the dating game is so tough. That's probably why I'm single still.
But you understand, like it becomes a supply a supply and demand curve where the two lines never meet each other.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want a man who has these skills. And the other thing that does it, and I definitely don't think this is an issue for you, but I'm sure you have some female friends that have gone through this. They slept with a rapper, a power forward, or an outfielder, and they think they dated him. And they tell their friends they dated him, but the dude's married with kids, and there's no image of the two of them together. But she tells her friend she dated so-and-so. And like she maybe f***ed him twice, but it jades her selection on what men are supposed to be, to that when she meets a good guy on Tinder for whatever, he doesn't compare to the outfielder. Yeah. And so now and then the outfielder texts her when he's in town, you know what I'm saying, when the Giants are playing the Dodgers, and then she ditches her man to just go f*** the outfielder. Right. You've seen this happen before.
Right, absolutely.
And then there's no way that path leads to a family.
She's just getting
literally.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, but she has a good guy in front of her, and then it's like she's had so much other excitement going on that she can't.
Stimulus, yeah.
Yeah, can't.
The dilemma of choice.
Yeah.
I love the fact that when I take Kylie anywhere, like it's the first time she's ever been. I'm gonna take Kylie to Paris. Shh, don't tell anybody. And when I do, she's never been to Europe. She's never done any of this.
See, this is great because she's doing it with you.
Yeah, I'm the first person to do.
Yeah, she's not. She hasn't already been spoiled. And,
yeah.
You know, she's not jaded yet.
Yeah. Isn't it weird how that whole thing works?
Yeah, but it's nice. It's so rare to find, right? Rare to find something like that too, because it's like you can show her the world. You can do things together. She'll appreciate it a lot more. She's gonna enjoy it more because she's with you. and you can be the first one to show her. So.
Yeah, I have female friends, and they're like making so much money on OF, and they're still out like looking for sugar daddies.
They're addicted to money. That's what
weird?
it is.
Like, to me, I'm like, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you're, like, you could.
You know what? You know what's weird to me though is I meet a lot of girls in LA that are like, I mean, these are like working girls. You know, all they do is have sugar daddies, and they're like, I could never have an OnlyFans. Like, I would never do that. And I'm like, you're over here sleeping with guys for money, but you don't want to make an OnlyFans.
Bro,
you make more money on OnlyFans.
No,
probably.
I have a friend, and she straight up, like, she does OF, and she also is contract girl for a porn site. And she was making like life-changing amounts of money, like ridiculous, more than 2-3
like
million
$1 million a month.
Yeah, ridiculous amounts of money. And she was putting it into homes and all this kind of stuff. And then I would go out to the club with her, and she would come up and talk to me, whatever. And she's like, "Where are the rich guys?" And I'm like, "You're gonna a rich guy for $2K? You could just go hire a dude and him and make $10K."
Maybe they get off to it. Maybe that's what turns them on.
But I was like holding her hand, and I'm like, I'm obviously, do whatever you want. I'm not trying to save you. I'm not.
Should be on that.
Do whatever the you want to do. But like, you're gonna go into a strange hotel room with a dude when you make that much money? What the am I missing here? That is so crazy to me. But you're right. Like, this is why I get like when the whole idea, like, there are women actually being trafficked, and there are women who actually enjoy doing this. I had Jamie Lynn on one time, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't think any women actually enjoy this." I'm like, "Jamie, I completely disagree with you. I don't think." And I've asked Nara straight up. I was like, "Nara, if the world was different, would you still be filming yourself having sex on camera?" She's like, "Yes." It's like,
She loves it. She
I
gets
like
off to
doing
it.
this.
Yeah.
And like some
Good for
people,
her.
they don't believe that, and they don't believe it. So it's like she would optimally want to be a doctor or something like. I don't think she would. I think she really likes doing this.
She's like, "No, I love being a whore. Thank you. I was born to be a whore."
So crazy. I just don't understand. But like, no, but it's like, I just don't want to judge people. But at the same time, like, you understand that if I'm a dude and I am looking for a wife, I'm like, well, Corey's really pretty, but I should probably not go in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to date people in our industry. I mean, that's probably why I'm still single too.
Yeah.
Like, most men don't. It's a lot for them to handle between the type of content that we're shooting, where we're shooting at, if we're traveling. Like, I think most men just can't handle that, or they don't want to settle down with a woman that's already has like everything out there on the internet for any other guy to see, because they're like, oh, you know, you can just Google her and her pictures are up naked on the internet. There's nothing special about it. Every other guy can just see it.
Yeah.
You know, I think some guys want, you know, they want that all to themselves.
Dude, I appreciate the fact that you see that. Like, because there are still some guys out there that are like, they just don't want a part of that.
Yeah.
When I moved here, I was not the slightest bit interested in being in a relationship. I was like,
I know that. But you've always said that.
But I also am realistic in the idea that I do believe that all relationships are conditional. I do love her, but like and that's the thing. I think it's really bad when people go into marriages thinking that things are unconditional, and then your husband gets fat and then you leave him because you guys grew apart, but you swore that you were going to stay together forever.
Right.
Like, relationships are conditional. I will tell you that if things stay the way they are now, then yes, the answer is unequivocally yes. I'll tell you that if things don't stay the way they are, then it's not going to be that way. And that's why the divorce rate in this country is 56%. First marriage, it's 52%. Second marriage, it's 68%. Third marriage, it's a 73% divorce rate.
Yeah.
80% of divorces are initiated by women.
The woman.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, it's like women will go into a relationship being like, man, I hope he never cheats, and then leave the relationship being like, I want half. And I'm just not happy with this. And we grew apart, and Eat, Pray, Love. And I watched a movie where the girl got divorced and she's super happy and all this kind of stuff. And she just leaves her man behind. And I just see this over and over again. And like, you know, population growth levels decrease and stuff like this. And it just affects the entire world.
Do you feel like most married people just get too comfortable with one another?
Most married people do, because
like, fuck it, I'm married, like, that's it, and then they just get lazy.
Yeah.
I also feel like a lot of married people I very rarely see married people, unless they're newlyweds, that are happy, like truly happy together. I feel like a lot of them look just.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
Like, not.
So tradcons hate this idea, but there's a 56% divorce rate, and amongst those who stay married, and most of the time it is for financial reasons. They're just comfortable, or guilt, or it has to do with kids most often. They stay together. Half of them aren't married. So the actual failure rate in marriage is about 75%. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But like, the thing is it a failure rate, or are we actually hairless murder apes that were not designed through evolution to be with someone for 75 years?
That's what I wonder about too. I'm like, do you believe in monogamy, like truly being monogamous
I
with
think
someone?
if
Like,
two people, okay, so just imagine Jay Cutler at his peak. You know the bodybuilder?
Yeah.
Okay, imagine a man at his peak, huge quads, calves. The dude is just massive,
Mm-hmm.
260, just all muscle. In order for him to stay there, he has to work to be there.
Mm-hmm.
He can't take any days off from the gym. Whatever supplements he's taking, he must do that. Monogamy is the bodybuilder at the peak. If either person stops working, then the bodybuilder gets a little flabbier and then he's not the champion anymore. Monogamy is something that both people must work at every day. If one of the two people don't work at it, then it doesn't work because it's not the natural state for humans. If
Yeah.
it was the natural state, like again, I don't have to work at eating French fries. I just see French fries and eat them. No one has to train me. At no point in my life did I not like French fries. At no point did someone have to put a gun to my head and said, Michael, you need to eat those fucking carbs and that sugar. Nobody, or and that salt. No one said that. My natural proclivity is to put fat and carbs into my mouth. That is how evolution made me. Evolution did not make for most people to be able to stay together for 75 years. It just didn't happen. Now, the reason why we saw it so often is because our grandparents grew up during the period of the Dust Bowl, where like literally in the 1950s, you needed lots of children in order to survive if you lived in an agrarian society.
Yeah, times have changed
You
now.
needed 14 kids because half of them were going to die.
Yeah.
Dude, before the year 1850, half the Earth's population died before the age of 5. People don't recognize how lucky we have. And so they take what it is for granted. But the difference between that person in 1850 and you now is nothing. We have the exact same genetics. We're just, it's just easier. I just push a button and food shows up. I push a button and the armed guard shows
Swipe
up.
left on. You even
Swipe
have the
left
dating
and I'm
apps
dating
too.
someone new. Exactly.
Find them on Instagram, wherever.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's
too easy.
And so it's
too many options.
It's got so many options, and the options cause the dopamine release to be set so high that like nothing means anything to us anymore. And we end up like Charlie Sheen, where it's like we're the highest paid television actor in the world. Everyone loves us. We're basically playing ourselves on TV. We win a bunch of awards. Every woman thinks we're hot. So we have no more dopamine hits. And so what does he do? He starts smoking crack and fucking porn stars till he gets AIDS. Like that's what happens. It's just a total lack of gratitude that ends up happening. That's why I'm always do the soup kitchen. I always try to rescue animals because it's like one of these, or travel to like Managua or in Africa. Oh, that's right. Half the Earth's population lives on less than $1 a day.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that because I live on the Strip in Vegas. Like you just have to remember that. And if you don't, that is actually the key to remembering to be happy is like some level of gratitude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's such a good way to put it, Michael. And like I also too, like, you know, going in and doing charity work and seeing like how most people in the live world versus like the lifestyle that we're living is just, it's a big difference.
I mean,